Hello and welcome back, everybody, to the Just One More Level podcast. I am your host, Christian.
And I'm your co-host, Jon.
And this week we have played a little bit of We Went Back, which is this free little indie, somewhat horror game thing with some like PT vibes. It's interesting. Yeah?
It's very interesting. I am, as I've expressed to you many times, huge fan of PT. As you all know, I'm a big fan of Silent Hill. Currently in the middle of playing that on stream. So I was very interested to take this challenge on because, yes, pretty much beat for beats, different style PT.
Yeah, there's a lot of similarities between this game and PT, a lot of similarities. And it's actually the reason why I suggested it to Jon, because I knew how much he enjoyed PT whenever, that was a thing that could still be played. And it's a free little thing on Steam, so why not check it out?
Right. So there's a lot of references, and I was going to explain to Christian, but this game, essentially, as far as I can tell, takes place on the moon. And
which sounds right to me, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know for sure that it takes place in the past or future. I'm not sure if it's trying to comment on what may have happened back then or what will happen again. But as you saw on the calendar there on stream, and in the future for the video, the game takes place in July of 69, but it doesn't specify which 69. 2069, 2169, 1969. As some of you may know, July of 1969 is when we first landed on the moon, on the Apollo 11 mission, which you just saw on the little newspaper down there. And I believe the title, We Went Back, is a reference to that. We went back to the moon. And it's also a clever little pun because the game revolves around the concept of time looping. So
yes,
you go back to the starting point and then go through it again.
Over and over and over again. And that's where it gets its kind of PT vibes from, is that you're kind of going through the same area over and over again. So whenever you first spawn in, you're like on this spaceship and it says life forms detected or something like that. And it tells you basically you need to escape. And that's about all it tells you. And then the game progressively kind of gets creepier. Things happen. And something you'll see if you're watching the stream or the video, I think is one of the creepiest parts. In my personal opinion, your second time through, all the astronauts' heads just kind of turn and stare at you.
And follow
but
you.
it's only like one specific time through, though. It's not every time through or anything like that. And that's just one of the many little differences. And so this week I'm playing live because we had I played this game previously and forgot to record footage. And the game's bugging out on me, so that's good. But anyways, the game's relatively bug-free, though. It's actually very well put together, especially for being a free little thing on Steam.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah, I mentioned that, actually. I recorded footage myself and plan on putting it out within the next week on my own channel. There we go. There I knew what you were waiting for. That got me. The first time we played was that that astronaut jumping down at you and the creature coming out of the vent there. I wondered why it wasn't happening when you went through. I was like, oh.
It was weird. So like my first time, so the only issues, if you do end up watching the video or the stream or whatever, the issues I'm experiencing when I first played through the game, I didn't have any of these issues. They all seem to be related to the fact that I'm just also recording audio and doing a lot of other things with it as well. The game is actually very well put together. I just want to make sure to point that out. This is not a very good representation of how the game normally performs.
The most bugging I saw was a slight glitch between the cursor and my mouse coming into view.
Right.
Like every once in a while, I'd see my mouse come into view instead of the cursor. But other than that, it was very polished, very smooth, even running on high setting. Right there, that newspaper, the Apollo 11 lands on the moon.
Right.
I know later in the game, it says something different about disaster on the moon.
Yeah, and I don't want to spoil too much in case anybody else out there wants to play it. So I don't want to get into like all the little details of the Easter eggs and things. But it just, take your time and look around as much as you can as you're going through the little time loops, because there are a lot of little Easter eggs and little hidden things for you to discover and see, and little changes each time you go through the loop. And very interesting. Not particularly scary, in my personal opinion.
Jump scare.
And yeah, there are like jump scares at time, and it definitely has like a creepy
Right.
atmosphere to it and whatnot. But it's not like a. I'm trying to think of like a horror game. What was the one?
PT.
Well, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's similar to PT in some ways, but it's not
Yeah.
like how you in PT you have that thing following you the entire time and whatnot,
Yeah.
and it's not
It's not
as
quite
horror
as
filled.
haunting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And another interesting thing, which
You'll
if you're
see
watching the
right
video
here.
and thing, yeah, is that if you skip something, so I forgot to pick up an item that's required to beat the game. So what it did is it actually sent me through the same area over again, and it's a nice little feature, I think, to ensure that you kind of are able to keep progressing. And I actually know where the item is, but I'm going to continue through without picking it up because there is something that happens, I believe, if you actually continue to ignore the items that you need to. So going to
Yep.
go ahead and do that. But so Jon, you mentioned that you quite enjoyed the game.
I
Why
did.
don't you wanna talk about it a little bit?
I will. I'm not sure if you want me to. I'm not sure how deep you want me to go, but I feel like I have a lot put together. So can I say that this is there was a spoiler free section, and now we're getting into spoilers.
Uh,
For anyone that doesn't
yeah,
want it spoiled. Okay.
yeah, sure, why not? Yeah, okay, yeah.
Um.
Spoiler warning, everybody.
Yeah. So yeah. Spoiler alert. Ahead. I feel like I feel like there's a very thin message here.
Okay.
Because and like I said, spoilers is your last warning. The ending code for the little computer panel that lets you, there he is.
Yeah.
There we go.
So since we're in the spoiler section anyways,
Yeah.
what happens is if you continue to ignore searching and you continue to just run through the ship, you will actually get attacked and killed by the creature that is haunting isn't the right word maybe, but
Yeah.
that is on this ship with you.
Right.
And that's what I was just showing off there. So
But I do like that it doesn't send you back too far.
no.
It still leaves you in the right spot where you need to collect the item that
Right. Right.
you'll see right here. You got to take a photo of it, and your Polaroids will appear in the office that you climb through the vent to get
Yes.
to. And the Polaroids that you're taking of these things seem to be phases of the moon.
Yes. Yeah.
And you have to piece them together in a puzzle at the end, revolving around a record player, again, orbicular right there on the poster, something circular, the moon. And you line it up with letters, and those letters end up spelling out the word futile.
Yes.
And that is the code that you need in order to get out of the base at the end of
to escape safely, yeah.
right. And I don't know if there's an alternate ending if you choose not to escape safely and choose to keep going through, perhaps end up dying until you escape safely. I'm not sure how that plays out.
I'm assuming you would, just based
Yeah.
off of like the rest of the game, how it works. I'm assuming that's what would happen, yeah.
Yeah. And if you are finding the clues, however, if you're attempting to find the clues, there is an inescapable jump scare where the
Yes.
creature stands in the doorway far away from you. If you run towards the creature, it will attack you, but it won't you.
Right.
It just stuns
just
you, and you're
scares
able
you,
to get
yeah.
up and
Yeah.
keep moving. So here's my takeaway from what I think is going on here, because I think the gameplay is pretty self-evident for anybody that is watching or anybody that has played. It's basically PT. It's in the same style. You loop through over and over. You got to find clues and solve puzzles.
Right.
And all of that is very well done. The visual style, I love the retro futuristic style. It reminds me of Alien. You know, it's the future as depicted from the 1970s or 80s. With your old, CRT computer monitors, your old looking things, the presence of pens and paper and notebooks and records and things like that all over the place. It's clearly what people thought the future might look like in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
So the aesthetic is on point, the sound design and game design is on point.
Oh, the sound design is amazing.
It is. Yeah, it's very polished and whatnot. But here's my take. Again, after rambling on and on. I think what the message is they went back to the
Mhm.
but as is explored in a lot of other sci-fi that I like to participate in, the urge to explore space, to explore the unknown, and put yourself in this scenario is futile because man was not meant for the stars.
Right.
Man was not meant for space. Man was meant to stay on Earth, and to explore this, to go to this type of scenario, it spells nothing but disaster. And as you will eventually see through the last loop here, if you get that far. I love this too. February 1600. I have no idea what that means.
Me neither. Me neither.
And I have
that's
no
the
idea
thing, like,
why 17 is circled. I wrote that down. And if you turn to the left there, I know I'm seeing it on the delay, but you'll see posters. Yeah, that one says MBL 9. Eventually the one to the left of Arrow of Time will say Phase 8, and the computer one will say Die 9.
Right.
And then
right.
this
And there's all these little
innovation.
things, and you can actually read, like, the text and the textures are actually a high enough resolution. You could actually read what all this stuff says too. So I'm
Right.
sure there's a lot of other little Easter eggs and things like that hidden in here. And there's computer code written on like this on the calendar and on the orbicular sign and whatnot. There's like actual computer code written and things like that. So I'm sure there's a lot more detail to this game than what even we've noticed.
Yeah, which kudos to them for putting that much thought and detail in these tiny textures.
Right. For as
which can
small
so
as
easily
this
be
game
overlooked.
is, like, it's only what, a 45-minute hour experience, something like that.
Yeah,
There
an
is
hour
a lot
maximum.
of little details thrown into it, and it's what really drew me to it and led to me suggesting it once we realized that we weren't going to be able to play Crash Bash, which is what we originally planned on doing this week.
Right.
And yeah, once I saw like the PT-esque-ness of it and just all the little details and everything, I knew that we had to do our part to get it out there a bit more, as well as I just knew that you would enjoy the experience as well. So,
Yeah, this part specifically creeped me out because I have a thing with plants.
right. Yeah. So this part right here that I'm going through now is the what would you call this? The
greenhouse.
grow room, the greenhouse, whatever
Yeah.
you want to call it. Yeah, and you end up finding like a hand severed in the greenhouse, and just
Yeah.
where did it come from? No idea. And also, the butterflies on the board,
Ooh.
they flap their wings.
Yeah.
I don't. Why?
What's going on there? Well, and here's something I want to talk about before I digress into anybody who's confused by my fear of plants.
right.
The game PT Silent Hills. It was a playable teaser for an unreleased game called Silent Hill, which was set to be the next sequel in the universe of Silent Hill.
Yeah.
And it has been a long time theory about the Silent Hill universe in general that what you're experiencing in Silent Hill is not a haunting or a paranormal happening, but rather an interdimensional shift, multiple dimensions folding in on each other.
Right.
And to an extent in the game's lore, that is what's happening, but it's related to the paranormal. It's related to the cult in the town of Silent Hill. It's not something sci-fi, but there he is. Good old buddy.
My first time going through here and seeing him, I honestly, I was pretty scared the first time. Like,
shit your
pants.
pants.
Like, what are you supposed to do? Like, there was nothing to do except to run up to him and just
get attacked.
Yeah.
I think the thing that got me the most was the second loop when the astronaut jumps off.
Right. Yeah. I mean, jump scare wise, I think that probably got me the most too. And then them all just turning their heads. Like I said, that's the whole thing. It's just all the little details, like all the astronauts turning their heads, everything getting cold and like dustier as you go through. More and more things just showing up, like broken and lights blinking and things like that.
If you go up to the thermostat, the temperature does drop.
Yeah, it actually gets lower. It hasn't yet. It's still on 66, but eventually it does get lower. And things disappearing and appearing that weren't there before in your different loops. The creature showing up in the middle of the orbicular poster. Yeah, like there's just so many little details. And then we're back on July 69 now. Like, are we? But are we 2069 now? 3069? Like, there's just so many little details, and that's what does it for me.
And that's what so the thing that I loved the most about Silent Hill is the possibility of exploring more than two dimensions, because in the Silent Hill games you have like your normal foggy town, you have your dark version of the foggy town, and then your hellscape iron rust version of Silent Hill that you keep transitioning back and forth from. But it was suggested just in that playable teaser that it was going to be so much more, and that you would be able to puzzle solve using dimensional shift, which just makes my little sci-fi heart happy.
And it actually makes me wonder a little bit if this is kind of dimensional shifting, because it doesn't even seem so much about like them going back to the same place.
Right.
Because like if you take the poster or not the poster, I'm sorry, the calendar seriously, we would have to be at least 100 years in the future now. But like nothing's
Right.
changed that much though.
Right.
So like I do kind of wonder, is it just we went back, or is it like a dimensional thing, or like
Yeah. And
I don't
what's
know.
interesting to me too is that you're finding different clues.
Really?
I don't remember the Petri dish, and I saw you went past it. But when you found the last, there was an alternate one that you can find by the viewer window where you can look outside and see work lights.
Yeah.
There was an alternate one that you skipped over. You found
See,
the one you ended up finding the one that I did.
I looked at that one, but it wouldn't let me click on it, actually, the
Okay.
one that you're speaking of. And actually, that's how it was for my first time playing it, too.
Okay.
I could not interact with it because I'm assuming you're talking about the one that would have been right here.
Yes.
I'm looking at it
That
now.
one right
Yeah.
there? Yeah.
So, yeah, but I can't interact with it at all.
That's because it's not part of the puzzle. I guess.
So yeah, that's yeah, it's just weird that it was a thing for you, but it's not for me.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So I mean, as far as like problems with the game, though, did you have any sort of problem? I mean, we've gone on and on about all the little details and everything we like about it. The only thing I don't think we really mentioned was the sound design. I know we mentioned it very quickly, but honestly, the sound design is amazing as well. I wouldn't say it's quite on the same level of like Silent Hill, but it's up there. It's very good.
Yeah, and something else that surprised me about this game too, going back into the quality, is Tragedy on the Moon.
Yeah,
Apollo 11 runs out of oxygen.
So now we're looking at we're on like
different
the fourth or
universe.
fifth loop, but it's talking about Apollo 11 again. Apollo 11 was actually already mentioned once, but then it mentioned Apollo 16, and then there wasn't a newspaper, and now it's talking about Apollo 11 again. So that's what
running
I'm like,
out of oxygen.
Are we in a time loop of some sort, or are we like exploring different universes? What is this?
Right.
And then the orbicular's just completely gone at this point, completely replaced by the creature's skull and chest. The temperature's gone down. We're back to February 1600, but everything's like a little more worn. There's the whole like phase
17
thing
again.
and die 9 that you were talking about.
Right.
Like
Eternal
everything.
return.
This says countless instead of infinity.
Right.
Yeah, there's just I don't know. There's got to be more lore to this. I don't know if anybody's like truly figured out the lore. I haven't tried to like look it up or anything like that.
Call Matt Pat.
Right.
Get him on the phone.
Yeah, for real though. Like that would be amazing. To see him do some sort of theory video on this, because I'm sure there's more to it.
Yeah, it's not unknown. It was released in April, and days after it was released, I think April the 3rd or something like that, it came out.
Right.
Less than a week later, Jacksepticeye played through this.
Oh,
so
okay, cool. I didn't know that he did. That's awesome though.
Yeah, so there has been like a big YouTuber that played through this game, so it has got some attention. But I haven't seen any big like theory or at least not from the game theory.
Right.
You know, I haven't bothered to look around at other little videos or anything. But for like I was saying, for anyone confused about the plant thing, I have a rather rare phobia called botanophobia, and it is a fear of anthropomorphized plant or carnivorous plant. And I know that's super weird, but it's a deep-seated childhood thing. It's an irrational fear. That's the definition of a phobia. That little part right there, we were walking through that plant room, was just a whole book of nope. I was not ready for that to be part of the horror. And I saw a little screenshot for this game where the little astronaut's being choked by a vine. So I was like, oh no, that's not going to be good. I'm not hearing Christian.
I'm still here. I am typing in this binary to see if it translates to anything, because I'm just curious now.
Okay.
So I was just curious what you were going on, right?
Yeah, but so while Christian's typing in that binary, let me digress. I don't like vine. I don't like sunflowers. They're taller than me, which I don't think is cool. Their faces are bigger than mine. They move to face the sun of their own village. It's not the wind moving them or time. They move. They rotate to face the sun on a daily basis.
I mean, you're not wrong.
That's weird.
Like, that is a thing that they do.
I know plants are alive, and I know there have been scientific studies illustrating that most likely feel pain, that they can remember, all of which makes me more uncomfortable than the last. it's just like a sort of thing.
Right, but
you know
like these aren't even that scary of plants, though. Like for anybody who's watching the footage or watches the stream, these are just kind of standard plants. Like I understand it's a phobia, so like it is what it is.
And it's a horror game. Like, and I saw that screenshot before I played the game of getting choked by a vine, so I thought there was going to be a jump scare where they came out and grabbed me or something. I didn't know. I didn't know what could have happened. So that's what was creepy for me. Them just being in the pots was whatever. That I'm not, and no, I'm not scared of grass. I'm not scared.
My game froze up for a second.
I'm
not scared of grass,
tree, or
the grass
or
is
anything
okay.
like that. Yeah, flowers in general. I'm not. It's when I have to get up and close in person. I gotta like hold.
That's when it's an issue.
Yeah, like I gotta feel it with my fingers, or if I'm going. Through the woods, and
your phobia side. Let's talk about video games a little bit.
Right.
So first off, it says the sacred geometry knows all. Is what it converts to. Not in text form. So I don't know what that means exactly, but
it's the phases of the moon. The sacred geometry.
I have no idea what it means because there were other things there with the binary, so I'm sure there was more code to break there. Yeah. And like I said, there's actual computer code written out in different spots too, so I'm sure there's all kinds of secrets that
it's got to be. That may be what it means short term. Like if anybody figured that out and thought it was essential to solving the game's puzzle, that might be what it means, but it might mean something deep. Because like the geometry says it all. The faces of the moon are different types of circles.
True.
They spell out the thing that you need to beat the game.
But I do feel like there's probably some sort of deeper meaning to it as well. Yeah, not just hey, phases of the moon. And so I mean gripes though. Do you have any gripes? I don't have any gripes. Honestly, I wish there was more. That's about the only complaint I
wish there was more. Absolutely. And if I had to pick like the tiny picking gripe, it's that there every once in a while, and this could have been just because it was a small project, but every once in a while I felt like I found the thing it wanted me to find. I was done now. Let me go. Because there was a couple of times where I would keep looping through and I would think to myself, I don't know what I missed. I found the phase of the moon that I did. I found the jump scare for this part, let me go.
Let me go. Just let me go.
I couldn't understand every once in a while what I was missing. Like it seemed like I had found the clue. I took my picture. I wanted to advance to the next part. I even to the point where I had found my jump scare. I wanted to go forward, and it seemed like maybe I had to look at something that I didn't see previously.
Right.
But the Polaroid are the only thing essential that you find to beat the game. Everything else is just if you want to look around and find deeper clues.
Right.
So it seemed weird that every once in a while it would kind of loop around when I did what I was for.
Right. Yeah, and I guess he could have done, or I don't know if this was like a one-man project or a team or what, but they probably could have done a little more, like had it glow or something like that. Because some of the objects can be pretty hard to find. Specifically, the one I had trouble with was the Petri dish. Finding that one was real rough for me personally.
I didn't even find the Petri dish. I found that clue somewhere else.
I guess it's just a little random what clues you have to get and what clues you don't have to get. Because like I said, both playthroughs that I've done now did require the Petri dish. Like I could not continue without it. So I don't know. There must be some sort of difference there. Specifically this loop, the second to last loop that I'm doing, has like some creepy music playing in the background too, which I think is really great.
And everything's burned and melted, which is
burned and melting, and there's like blood all over the place and things like that. I want to see if I'm gonna die or what's gonna happen this time, because I skipped going where I was supposed to go. Okay, it's just gonna be another death cycle. Okay, I didn't know if it would like loop you back around like it does every other time, or if it would kill me. I just wanted to see what would happen. So I am gonna go ahead and beat the game real quick. While we wrap up with any final thoughts or anything we got. But then I do want to do one more loop and just see what happens if you put the code in right at the beginning of the game, like before you do anything else.
Well, I think you have to loop once or twice before it lets you interact with the computer.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure you can interact right away. I'm pretty sure. Really? I could be wrong, but I will find out.
But yeah, so the song that's playing, according to Amber, she has informed me that it played on Walk the Line.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So it's yeah, and it's something about the garden and sinners. Return to the garden, all ye sinners, or something like
Okay.
that is what
Okay.
the track is called. I can't hear it right now. I can't hear your audio, but I
Right.
just know what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and that record right there is your key.
And I feel like that's also a reference to the fact that in real life we sent out a golden record with clues on how to find the Earth.
True, and also playing off of that theme, where it's futile to go to space. Man was meant to stay on the world which he was created for.
Right.
Return to the garden, all ye sinners. Return to the Garden of Eden. Return to Earth.
Where is my mouse? There it is.
There's something there.
I don't
I'm no
remember
map.
the order these go in, so I'm just gonna kind of.
Well, the first thing you need to do is spin the disc so that I is on the proper phase, and then the letters will fill.
Yeah. There we go.
And then
Yeah. I gotcha.
spell.
And then do it that way.
Yeah,
I guess that makes
that's
a
the
little
way
more sense. So yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I don't really have much more to say about the game. It's an excellent experience. I feel like everybody should play it.
Yeah.
Because it's short and it's free. Like, what more do you want from
Yes.
it? And it's put together excellently. Like, and then like this ending part here. So again, we're so spoiler heavy, which I'm sorry, but like at the ending here,
It's a short game.
You are in the vent watching somebody else walk past, but you never actually
Right.
see this other person.
Yeah.
So like,
I
what
think
is that?
I think it's the monster, because at the end you are attacked by a flaming astronaut, and the
Right.
monster looks like he's been burned.
Right. But like
That's what it
he's
is.
wearing space boots, like the boots that we're
Right.
wearing and whatnot. So
Right.
like, did the monster get in a spacesuit, or did we become the monster, or
Yeah.
an astronaut? Did one of us become the monster? Like, I just feel like there's something more to it. And it's also important to note the entire time you're playing, you never see another live person. You see astronaut suits, and you can at one point interact with one of the pods that you came out of the beginning. You can interact with one of those and see a monster-like creature inside of it. But you never actually interact with another person. The only time you see another person-like thing is right there where you're in the vent. And you just see the boots walking past. You don't see their face or anything like that. You don't see if they're human.
And real quick on the screen that you just went past too, like in your initial walkthroughs of the space station, those screens are displaying what look like terrain. And now they have human skulls on them.
Just skulls, yeah.
Yeah, but it is worth mentioning, I think, that I'm just going to dive deeper into my theory here. We could be attempting to terraform the moon. That may be what is happening.
Right.
So, you can interact with this. I'm just
What?
watching your gameplay. You just interacted with the.
I
the
know.
last
I didn't know you
door.
could do that either.
Oh,
Normally
here we
you
go.
can't go backwards.
Uncharted territory.
Normally
Okay.
the game stops you from ever going backwards, but just on a whim I decided, you know what, I'm going to try to go backwards. And it let me.
Okay. I see you.
Strange.
I see
go
you,
ahead.
game.
Go ahead and continue to dive into your theory, though. Let's hear what you're thinking.
So I think this is probably a mission to terraform the moon. And the reason I said that it could be topical is because recently it came out that science has discovered there seems to be a some sort of mass on the moon.
Right.
That cannot current. We don't know why there's such a mass. A lot of people are theorizing that it could be gravity, or it could be something in there, secret moon base, different things like that. So that's the reason I said it was topical, because it could be this happening in real life. A secret moon base on the moon, and they're trying to terraform it, and that's not what's supposed to happen. We're supposed to stay where we are and not explore this horrible forbidden terrain. But this is very interesting.
Yeah.
And
so I mean, I like I said, I suggest everybody give it a try.
Yeah.
I mean, so would we play one more level? I mean, we both beat the game, so obviously we would play one more level.
We would play one more playthrough. We would play one more game in this style. We would
for sure,
play a fully fleshed out version of this game. So so you can't loop back again.
Yeah, it doesn't let you loop again, huh?
Back.
Interesting. Well, yeah. I mean, I think that's pretty much it, though. Might as well, John.
Might as well. Yeah.
John. What are we playing? We're hoping to play something like next week that we hope to play this week, but didn't work out. So so what is it? What are we hoping to play?
Next week, we are hoping to play Crash Bash.
Hoping, yes.
Yes, continuing on with the Crash Bandicoot franchise. This is the last of the PS1 experiences other than Crash Team Racing that you could play. So we're trying to wrap that up right there before Christmas. Because the day after or 2 days after, we're hoping to release our Christmas special.
Yep.
Which is going to be composed of a few games that we still haven't ironed out.
I was going to say, still undecided. So if anybody has last-minute suggestions that are Christmas-themed and not Die Hard, let us know.
Die Hard.
Not Die Hard.
I am hoping for a wave of Die Hard suggestions. I'm sending my energy out, just like Earthworm Jim. Please let there be 50 people, 100 people that recommend Die Hard.
Trash.
Look how many people worked on this game. Thank you, the Doors lady. Thank you. But not Christmas. Listen, okay? It's Christmas.
It's not Christmas.
It's Christmas. No, what I was going to say is I'm surprised how many people worked on this game, considering it's just free. It's just free.
And that's why I wonder if it is a PT like thing where it's a small part of a larger project. Yeah, is what it makes me think it might be. And I'm assuming if there are a bunch of little hidden clues and things like that, I'm assuming that's probably what they're going to tease to, just like PT did. That's my best guess. But so hopefully Crash Bash next week. If anybody has suggestions for another game for Christmas specials, then please let us know. We would be more than happy to throw those on our list.
We would more than be happy to play Die.
Jon,
so
where can we find you?
You can find me on YouTube at The Dorsman. You can also find me on twitch.tv, The Dorsman. You can find me on Twitter, The Dorsman Twitter, specifically John Dorsey 1.
Right.
And I'll be having an episode of this, my official first-time playthrough, coming out, like I said, within the week, hopefully. Within the next few days, if I can swing it, but definitely within the week. It's the holiday season. We're all busy, so we'll see exactly what happens there. But Christian, where can we find you?
Yeah, I'm also on Twitch and YouTube. Stream the Steam or Stream All the Steam, and Twitter is just Stream the Steam. I haven't been very active lately other than the podcast, just because, like Jon said, things. But yeah, feel free to check me out anytime you like. And Discord as well. You can find us on Discord. And if you ever want to give us suggestions, just chat or whatever, have a server that we're both a part of. So you can hop in and say hello anytime.
Yes, the Stream All the Steam server.
Yeah, well, I think it's Stream and Friends is what I call it. But I mean, at some point, I would actually like to sit down and probably just rebrand as like a group thing because there's me, you, we have like a whole little group of people that do little things on the interwebs. So it'd be nice, since we're all just small communities, to just have a place where we can all get together and mingle.
Right.
So
yeah, for sure.
But anyways, thank you all so much for joining.
Yes, thank everybody so much for watching. We're at 15 or 16 of you on average every week come out to check us out,
right?
And that's a nice little tight. And we
really appreciate it, 100%.
Because you don't have to watch us, but you do, and we appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Guess that's it.
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
Bye everybody.
Right. Yep. Bye.
Love this podcast? Support this show through the Acast supporter feature. It's up to you how much you give, and there's no regular commitment. Just click the link in the show description to support now.